Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else in between. Welcome to our 17th episode, and I mean 17th episode of the new You Talkshow, a show that promises incredible content with incredible people. Now, my name is Frederick, and joining me is Nick Isa. Now, Nick, what are we commemorating this month? Do you know?
Oh, talk about mental health.
Oh, awesome. What is it called? It's called the World's Mental Health Day, right?
Yes,
Yeah, so it's I think it's, if I'm not wrong, it's held on the 24th to 25th of October, or maybe 24th to be exact. But the month of October is known as the World Mental Health Day month. And amazing, I love this topic that we're going to do tonight. This is going to be an awesome topic that we're going to talk about. Yeah, and this evening we're actually delving into this topic of mental health, especially when it comes to being a business owner or a self-employed professional. And the reason why I thought about this topic, or we came up with this topic, is because we wanted to address some of the issues relating to mental health issues that we don't usually talk about. You know, entrepreneurs, self-employed professionals, you guys just want to put on the tough image. Hi, man. Appreciate if you would mute yourself. Thank you very much. I'm just going to mute you. All right. Okay. So the reason why we're going to talk about this mental health issue is that sometimes we don't really talk about this issue. And this evening, we're delving into the topic of mental health, especially when it comes to business owners, owning a business, or maybe you're just trying to hustle your way through. And it's not a very easy journey. And we all know that there's a lot of high stress and high anxiety involved. So, Nick, what do you think about this topic before we go on to have our our guests and our participants of this show coming up with their inputs?
Oh, I think in terms of the mental health, right? Although in terms of business, mental health starts within you. So I think before even you helping yourself or helping your business, I'm helping others or helping your business, you must help yourself first. Sorry to say that. All right. And then I also feels that once you have all this your mindset, actually, you need to be very focused in what you're doing. You must always have a plan in terms of that. However, mental health issue, sometimes you have too many things running, something like me. I got a lot of things to do, basically, but and I have to handle here, have to handle there. However, it's more about how you able to switch your mindset and control your mind. Then you're okay. How I do that also? I'm busy, but I feel that I know how to switch my heads. And in terms of sometimes I also need my me time.
That's how really good. That's really good.
I keep my minds ready and moving on. Oh, sometimes it happens in your business. Sometimes something just happened. Oh, so are you going to feel bad about it, or are you going to solve the problem, or you just have to move on, take a breath and take action and move on, basically. Yeah. We just have to do that. Yeah.
You know, as a trained professional psychologist once, right? Okay, as a trained professional psychologist, I feel that you're not there yet, as in you're not there yet, but the thing about having high stress, being in a high stress environment, and having anxiety creep over you, it's not the beginning of having mental health issues, but we are all prone to mental health.
Yes.
And we are all prone to having issues related to our mental well-being that's breaking down. And sometimes we are on the edge. Sometimes we live on the edge because entrepreneurs, they live on the edge. We do not have safety nets. Now, we do not know when is our next, income coming in. And we're still that if we are a business owner, that's at least better in a sense, one step better. But there's always a constant monitoring of the situation about your business. It's about your business, your rice bowl, and what is going to come next for you month after month, weeks after weeks. And not having income for a week, it's a call for concern. So that's why it's a very high stress, high anxiety environment, but not very that. There's always this thing called relational issues. Like sometimes when we deal with clients, we deal with people like our loved ones, there will be times when we face issues with relationships. And that's when we have issues like depression or burnout or some kind of a decision fatigue, because we are trying to make decisions all the time. right? So for our viewers here and on our live set, if you have some opinions about mental health issues, do raise them. Do talk about them. We like to talk about this because it's something that we don't really talk about. And of course, we do have Eunice, who is on on this show right now. I think that she has some interesting stories to share, but at the same time, she's an entrepreneur and she does have certain experiences with regards to battling issues relating to mental well-being in her quest or in her journey as a business person. So Eunice, is there anything that you would like to share with us with regards to your journey?
Well, mental health. Hi, everyone. Good evening. I'm Eunice. Yeah, I think it's a very interesting topic that you guys come up with and happen to invite me in. I actually started entrepreneurship because of that. It's the other way around. Entrepreneurship has been quite a journey for me, and it's also a spiritual journey for myself. Because if you want to be an entrepreneur, first thing first, you have to help yourself. That is so true. Just now, Nick did say that. So I was at the brink of, I think I was at my lowest point of my life. Back then, I was in a marriage that wasn't working out. And at the same time, I was this IT project manager, working at 3 projects at one time. And I have 2 kids at home that I couldn't take care of. Subconsciously, I was looking for a way out, but I kind of denied it because I was also working on the weekend as tutor for international schools. And then I was also working at night, trying my luck with financial planning. So I was totally stretched thin. I was at the brink of craze. There's one day I went to the GP and then I told the GP that I needed an MC. And then the GP was like, I can't just give you an MC. Can you tell me what's the problem? Then I started pouring my heart out. And did you know what the GP told me? You are crazy. If you're going to do this, you are going to be really crazy.
You're going to break down, no?
Yeah, I was breaking down. It was a burnout, definitely a burnout. And also stress, pressure, a lot of things coming together. And the worst thing that came with it was suicidal thoughts, and depression. So what I did realize is that I was in denial, and I was in denial basically. I was in denial. I was working so hard. I just couldn't cope anymore. So after I cried and told the story, the GP actually said, you know what, Eunice, why not I ask you to stop working once and for all? I was like, what? What would you think of one job that you may be able to handle, like at least get your sanity back for a while? I didn't think of that at that point. And then she said, yeah, just think about it. Then I was sitting down. I needed to take care of my children. I need to get my sanity back, something that I could be flexible of, maybe a Grab driver.
You didn't tell me that.
Yeah, I didn't. No.
Okay,
Then,
Grab driver. Oh my goodness. Okay.
No, you know what my GP said? She said, go ahead, do it. If that's going to give you your sanity back.
Yeah.
I was taken aback. At the same time, I felt supported. She said, I think you have deeper issue. It's not just this, isn't it? Then yeah, it went down the rabbit hole where it came to the marriage breakdown, and then it was an abusive one. And then it even went to the part that the GP said, you know what? I'm going to write you a letter, present it to your lawyer, and keep you and your children safe. I am very thankful to her. That was exactly what I did after that. And yeah, I quit my job, honestly speaking. I really did. But at that juncture, I was also like, I do have some savings, but I don't think how far I could stretch from there because I needed legal advice at the same time. However, I think I took a turn back when I started, I went into seminars and thinking about personal development, even though I thought I didn't have the money. I only asked myself one question: what could be worse if I didn't try? What could be worse if I try? And the thing is, I signed up for a course that I thought I didn't have money for. And I thought it's either these or I'll commit suicide after this. That was really my thought in my head at that time. And the last day of the seminar, I came out like, oh shoot, I have debts to pay. I gotta work myself up. So that was the entrepreneurship that started for me. It was then I started a project. I call it Project Dear Me. It was actually for mental wellness. It's for supporting women like me who didn't know what to do with their life and wanted to have support. And yeah, that was how it all started. So I started with at that time I started my healing journey. At the same time, I was posting stuff about healing, and then I started having a business from there onwards. Yeah, I went to learn about more about energy healing. At the same time, because I do have IT background as an IT project manager back then, someone got saw me doing digital marketing, and they just kind of offer a project. So ever since then, I became a system strategist, and I do digital marketing for my clients. So that got me going. Opportunities really do come, but if you don't create them, nobody sees you, then there's no business at all. That's how I started. And of course, along the journey, it's not all like a good journey upwards or anything like that. Sometimes it gets stagnant. Sometimes there are ups and downs, especially when it comes to imposter syndrome. Have you ever had that?
Tell me
Yeah.
about it.
We all have about it. Yeah, we all have. Yes.
It's like a feeling like you wanted to you want to like impersonate someone. Like you find this particular mentor or this particular person whom you admire, whom you want to be like this person, because he or she is so successful. It's so much admiration, and you just want to like be where he is, where she is, or do the things that he or she is, or you think that you are using the NLP model by modeling this person, but actually, you know what? Something about NLP is about modeling. It's not just about modeling people, although it tells us the importance of modeling successful people. However, people take it in the wrong context. Now, I was trained in NLP, and I know that NLP, when it says you have to model after successful people, it doesn't mean mimicking successful people. It just means about modeling after their strategies, their habits, or their mindset. That's about it. It's not about what they eat. It's not about what they post. It's not about what they wear, even. So there's a lot of like misconstrued or misinterpretation of the message of what NLP is trying to tell most people, because most people will just think, oh, I should model after this successful person. I should go to where he is, eat what he does, eat what he eats, do what he does, and all that. So it's not like that.
Analyzing someone. It's not.
It's crazy.
It's not mirroring someone. Mirroring is also in the sense of NLP. We talk about NLP a bit. Mirroring is the sense of like how you behave and how you play. You must also at the same level. Meaning, same level doesn't mean you need to follow everything, but you need to put yourself at the same part, and how you can improve yourself to be that level. And also you want to achieve to that level, basically. Yeah. So I think, it's totally
and the best way to model after successful people is to interact with them. And I think is to speak with them, is to have some interaction at least, to find out who they are or what they do, and what are their habits. That's about it. I mean, the habits, the mindset is all there is for you to really look at how you can actually change your lifestyle or do certain adjustments to your way of living or way of thinking, in order to sort of model after successful people. I think that's the whole thing to it. But of course, my curiosity is that Euniz, thanks for sharing your story with us. I was just wondering how you actually cope at that time, because it's like, it's not easy, man. Have this burnout. And I know Kai actually mentioned something about the fact that you're stretching yourself too hard. Yeah, I think I know that from what you shared with me, you sounded as though you actually stretch yourself too hard. So we're just curious, how do you cope? The whole thing is that, okay, coping is one thing, healing is another thing. But in order to know how you cope, I also want to know how you heal yourself through it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There are two different things. I want to hear it out first before I explain what coping is and what healing is all about, because people tend to mix them up.
Oh yes, definitely. I think at that time, it was pretty harsh. I have to take one at a time, right? But then everything came together at one time. So it was quite a big one for me, because another part I didn't tell you that, because my children are affected, one of them shut down on me as well. So
Oh.
that was the part that really slapped hard on me, because if I don't change, my world is crumbling down. The person that I care the most, I mean, those that really matters the most are my two kids. And back at that time, my child was shut down on me. That was the biggest blow of all time. So I tried to figure out, like, what is wrong? What is wrong with my life? Why is it that bad? I actually did attempt suicide, but then it didn't work out. And because of that experience, that near death experience, that was actually my wake up call. That if I had that, I got this voice telling me, if I had that courage to die, I probably have the same courage to live. That was the moment that I was awakened to the fact that that's true. Like, if then what do I do next? I'm very lucky in that sense, because I met mentors that made a lot of change, a lot of difference in my life. I met two of them. One of them is Joe Bauer. If you all know, he's one of the marketing gurus that teaches people like Ping Jun, like Myron Golden, and so forth. And then I also met another mentor here in Malaysia. He's dean of MBA in one of the university that hired me. That when I was lost, all because I was interested in what he was teaching, and he was making a lot of difference to other people in mental wellness, because he was teaching mind mechanics. It's basically the concept behind NLP, the science behind NLP. So I was interested, and I was assisting him in one of his classes, and he actually was a war veteran from Scotland, and he talked about PTSD. Imagine that he went through his life, in the prison after the war, and he got out of it, and then he got his MBA, and at his 60s, he is the dean of the school, still in a university. Can you imagine? I was like so taken aback. I was so inspired. I asked him, "How did you get out of it?" So he was there for me as I was studying. At the same time, I was also helping him to market his stuff. So during that time, I had the right people. I had the right support system that kept me going. And about imposter syndrome back then, what I heard from other gurus, that fake it till you make it, right? I don't believe in that, because I was like, I can't. I mean, if you ask me to fake it till I make it, I can't, because I'm lying to myself. This is my story. But you know what Joe Bauer told me was that at that point, he's like, just be you. Tell me what do you want in life, and be that. So if you start being, you do, and then you have it. That was what makes a difference in my life. I started being, rather than just focusing on doing, because it's so much hard work when you're not being that person that you are. And that's where it kicked my spiritual healing journey. So my spiritual healing journey was quite interesting, because it was basically, I was just posting quotes to encourage other people every single day. It all started like that. And actually, those were the posts that I was trying to encourage myself. Yeah, to keep on going, to be positive of my life. Things will be better. Because as I open up this, start being like, I feel I'm grateful. I was grateful for these people in my life. And at the same time, I really take their words at heart, and do what I needed to do at that time. And I do see results day by day. So it's the tiny little switch of habits that you do every single day that matters, rather than like a big success that you have to achieve. So it got me thinking, like, oh wow, I see things differently. There's a very fine line between you know I was actually spiraling down into the negative self, because it was a self-fulfilling prophecy. That's what Dr. Thomas told me back at that time. Do you know that depression is a type of self-fulfilling prophecy, because you are victimizing yourself internally continuously, so that you spiral down into the same position again and again, again and again. And then I told him, I don't know how else can I do this. Every time you criticize yourself, or you see yourself spiraling down, do one thing. Do one thing to come back up, and that is reframe what could have been better. Reframe that perspective. Yeah. So every day, I was reframing my own mind. I was talking to myself out of it. I was negotiating with myself. So basically, if we were to talk about depression, or the sense of sadness, prolonged sadness, I mean, I was not clinically diagnosed because I did go for diagnosis. But I knew deep down inside there is some mental issues that I have to take care of. If I don't take care now, I can't take care of my children. That was the fact. Because my son already shut down on me. I brought him to psychologist, and the psychologist told me, and I even hired a coach for him. At the end of the day, after a month or so, he opened up and said, well, it's because mommy, you changed. It wasn't because of anything else, because you changed. So I don't want to talk to you. I was really devastated hearing that from my son. Um, yeah, so I worked on myself in the way that, I'm accountable because I'm the mother, and I have another 2-year-old that have no idea what was happening. So I had to do something about my life. So I guess that was really it. Having the right community to support you first thing first, and then having yourself to work on yourself, that you want make that one decision that you want to change for the better. That is that one decision. It's always one decision away it will make all the difference in your life. I guess that was really the core. That's why I was so passionate into marketing what Dr. Thomas had. But when we were about to launch, he decided to back off because he wanted to go back to Scotland. It was kind of a sad thing for me, but then at the same time, I told him I'll be here, ready to market for you whenever you're ready to come back. So that was part of my story, how it evolved, and that I kept on looking into because I'm in digital marketing. I kept on going into business development, personal development courses after courses, and ended up being here. Yeah, and also I'm a soul healer. For some people that know me, what I do, I do have the skill. I'm actually third generation medium as well. So I do have some psychic. I'm also a psychic. From there, I actually have my own practices to help people to heal from energetic space. Yeah, so actually, all in, I guess the whole journey is really bringing my gifts out, which is the healing component that I never look into in myself. Because there was one time I was just standing on the stage to give testimonial to one of my friends because she helped me during one of those days. And literally, there were these two people who kind of came around me and held my hand, hugged me, and say, "Thank you so much for your speech on the stage. Otherwise, tonight I might have been gone," because I was simply telling my story. I was just doing that. And I didn't think it would have made such an impact. And from that day onwards, I don't mind going on any platform, sharing my story as an entrepreneur or as a mother, that has literally transformed my life from, the lowest. I don't know how low could anybody be, to where I am today. It wasn't easy, but it's still doable. So it's a daily thing. Everything matters, especially when it comes to emotions. Emotions are energy. So when you are in your lowest, you are actually attracting people at the same frequency. We're just like radio, we have antennas, right? And then
Yes.
if you are at the depressed mode, and honestly speaking, I attract the people that are as depressed as me. And sometimes I absorb so much of the energy, I don't know how to get out of it. So that's why I started practicing meditation, self-care. That's very important. Give yourself self-love. No matter how busy you are, make time for yourself. Give yourself a date, right? Go for a facial, get yourself some nice clothes. Go have a coffee or tea that you love. Read a book that may give you some inspiration. Yeah, that is one thing that I didn't think of doing because I was so busy with life. And
Yeah.
that made a lot of difference. Yeah.
Wow, it's amazing. And I'm looking at comments right now. Kai gave you some encouragement, and I think it's really
Yeah.
true. It brings me back to the fact that you need to love yourself. That's what she said. I think heal yourself, and you can give the best to your loved ones. That's very, very true. And I also agree what you said, Eunice. That you need to, in order to attract who you want to attract. You have to be the person you want to attract. It's like if you are depressed or in low spirit, you will tend to attract people in your life who are just as low spirited as you are at a point in time. So I think that is something which I feel it's really important as well. That's what you said, Eunice, and I totally agree with that. And of course, Kai also mentioned that it's really wonderful that you found yourself. I mean, being yourself at the same time, not many people can find themselves, which I agree, because I mean, being yourself and also finding yourself is important. And a lot of people just follow that what surrounding pulls them to. It can be quite tiring, and I agree with that. I feel that what you said, Eunice, just now, you got to be in a supportive environment. Like, you got to find your own support, like your own supportive environment. But for myself, I do feel lonely at times, and I don't know about Nick, but the thing is that I do feel lonely at times, because a lot of times I have a lot of things in my head, right, going on in my head. I do not know who or where I can share it to, because when you share things, you have to be careful as well. We are all very mindful with who we share our thoughts with, and especially when we are in businesses, or if we are doing something with regards to our businesses, things can be quite private and confidential. We need someone to share our thoughts and feelings with. And it's very difficult to find the right or like-minded people to share it with. I don't know how many of you here actually agree with me, because the thing is, sometimes it gets very lonely. And as business owners, or as professionals who are self-employed, right, who actually have your own gigs and hustles, okay, you agree with me. I mean, sometimes you feel like you have a lot of things in your mind, but you don't know who to share it with. And sometimes you feel very lonely, because only when you're successful, people flock to you, right? When you are struggling and you're trying to build things up, people don't give a damn shit about you. Sorry about the language, but really, that's totally like so real. It's like people only give a shit when you succeed, right? So it's sad, and it's really something that I feel pressured, especially when it's high stress, high anxiety. At the same time, it's really sad knowing that people only come to you for your contact and take picture with you only when you're successful, which I feel sometimes is not a good attitude. But sometimes you need to support the small fries, because you never know who will become big next time. So It's always good to support one another. It's always good to support each other. And I'm really amazed. All right, I'm just going to be a bit biased and subjective here. I'm really amazed at myself going into Malaysia and interacting with some of the Malaysian entrepreneurs there. I really love the attitude. And of course, I know, Eunice, you're from Malaysia, so I mean, not just because of you, but because of many other entrepreneurs there that I meet in Malaysia as well. And I feel that the culture there is very different from the culture in Singapore. I don't know, Singaporeans, you can agree or disagree with me, but I myself feel that there is a different culture there. It's just that people there are more supportive. People there are more growth minded, more hungry, or maybe people there are more united in a sense. So they are more neighborly, or I would say more supportive of one another. I don't know. It's just a personal feel. It's just a personal bias. But I mean, to some people may feel that Singaporeans are more united and more more caring, more supportive. I don't know. But judging from my experience, that's how I feel. And I think that it's very good. It's very important to find the like-minded people with you who can actually agree with you or support you in some way. Otherwise, it feels very lonely. I don't know about Nick. What do you think?
For me, I feel that, okay, I think you all are sharing about whether to check whether you are all right or not all right. So I came up with certain memes for all right. You need to double check yourself also if you are all right. A for approach. How you approach people, how people approach you. L is to listen. Listen to yourself. Okay. And I think R is actually to reassure. I mean, how you need to make sure you reassure yourself to all these things. I, immediate action. So what is your immediate actions to make sure that you are all right? Okay. Guide. G is for guide, sorry. Guide. That means getting guide from other people, or maybe you need to help yourself to guide. Okay. The word H is only help. So you need to help yourself. Okay. Last one, time. T. All right. So is to follow up and to think out of how to give time for yourself. That means your me time. So you need double check whether you're all right.
Wow, you're all right.
Yeah, so I think I came up with this thing because when Eunice was talking about this, wow, I was like writing, okay, I can come up with this word.
Thanks for the acronym. It's so easy to remember.
Yeah, it's like,
are you all right?
No, something that I get it from
Excellent.
when Euniz was sharing, Freddy was sharing. So I was like writing down basically. Then I was thinking, okay,
Wow. You know, this
I
is
think
your talent, you know, Nick.
this is how I feel that. And also, I was asking Freddy before we start. You must sometimes tell me, when people ask you, how are you? I feel
Mhm.
that you need to be true to yourself. This is how you double check your mental health.
Hmm.
You must be, you must sincerely you must actually tell how you feeling. How are you?
Interesting. How would you say that? Okay, Nick, how are you?
Today, I don't know.
Silent reply.
Today I'm not sure that I'm too tired for today. That was telling you just now. I don't know why I'm so tired, but I have to move on. Yeah. That's how I feel. How are you? Yeah.
Move on. You have to move on. You feel like you have to
Yes.
move on. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. I mean, life gets to you sometimes, but true, you got to move on somewhat. The story
Yes.
goes on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Eunice, how are you?
I would say I'm in transition.
Ah,
I'm in
transition of
transition.
what?
Yeah. So things are a bit overwhelming, but yeah, still manageable. And if you look at that, right, if you hear me saying that, you know I'm going through something, yet
Mm,
managing it. Yeah. So
managing.
I think it's really important for us to be honest with ourselves. That's very true. Because a lot of time, right, we have that standard reply, how are you? Oh, fine, thank you. How are you? And it doesn't really reflect what's really happening in our life. And people don't really check in anymore because everybody's busy with their life. And I can be almost 99% say most time when we're entrepreneurs, yes, especially if you're a solopreneur, you don't have a team that you work with, it's pretty lonely. And at times you are doing everything by yourself. You can't even see your blind spots, because you don't know where you're going, if it's the right way or not the right way. That's
Yeah.
why I always emphasize the factors. We need to have like-minded community, and we also need to have like-minded mentor that could guide us, that have already walked the path, so that you walk the path that they have already done. We may be just 2 chapters away, they are 2 chapters ahead of us. That's good enough. So that's why I'm also mentoring some of my mentees in terms of tech for their business, in terms of system and processes. But sometimes I do go into um, things like this. Sometimes people don't get the tech right. It's not because they don't get it right, because tech is really just step 1, step 2, step 3, follow the instructions. It's more about the patience, and behind that patience, that certain someone, they don't have patience with themselves. They're highly critical of themselves. There is something that is behind that hypercritical self. And that is the part that they need healing from. And if you actually listen to them when they speak or they tell you the stories, it has a lot to do with their childhood, a lot to do with their past. And there are these things that are not, I think these are the things that the old wounds that are not
Heal.
healed and not
Yeah.
been talked about. Nobody actually went in, no one bothered to really coach them out of that. Because when we were kids, right, we get bullied, or we got in any way, we felt that we were unloved or abandoned, or somewhat. Then we bring this with us, even in our business, even in our health, even in our relationship, but we do not know that we do, until someone actually make us aware, or the third party show us our blind spots. That's how it has been for me, because I didn't see it. I had this fear of failure. At the same time, I had this fear of success. Isn't that funny?
Yeah,
Right?
not funny, not funny. It's so real. I'm afraid of success and failure at the same time, but
Yeah.
more of failure. But yeah, I like the genuinity that you shared, and I think I agree with what Kai says. I mean, she said, "I love to say I'm awesome." Cool. I mean, because it switched my mind to be all positive all the time. Well, yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's cool to switch yourself to be positive. It's great to be positive. I would like to be positive sometimes. Sometimes I just wake up on the wrong side of the bed, unfortunately, and I do feel like crap, right? Sometimes I do feel lethargic. I feel like crap. I feel sick. I feel like I don't want to wake up at all. There are days like that, and I'm not going to push it aside. I'm just going to acknowledge that I'm not feeling great, and it's okay to be not okay. It's okay to be not okay, because so I always tell clients, last time when I was a psychologist or a counselor, it's okay to be not okay, because when you can acknowledge that you are not in the right state of mind, that's when healing can also take place. You're giving yourself permission to be healed. Because when you deny or when you try to put aside the feeling and focus on positive feeling, guess what happens? You deny yourself the fact that you're going to acknowledge something that is hidden. You're denying yourself the healing process from taking place internally. And I think that's very important as well, because while we need to be positive, we also need to feel that you also need to acknowledge that there are certain times when we don't feel great. And as much as we want to feel great, we can't feel great because there's something in our backyard that we need to clean. If we don't clean our backyard, it's going to accumulate. And this combination is going to affect our future and our present, how we're going to deal with our situation. And I think that's very important, because if we don't deal with our backyard, if man is here, all right, but he's gone. But if man is here, he would probably agree as well. It's something that we keep in our unconscious mind, all right, that resurfaces each and every time when we meet a situation that has something to do with what we keep inside our unconscious mind. That surface all the crap that we try to keep inside us, that we put aside for the longest time ever. And from then on, we didn't realize until it became a blind spot, and it resurfaced. And the reason why it resurfaced is because we repress it, we suppress it. So I think it's important for us to acknowledge, to address whatever that we have not addressed. And it's so important because entrepreneurs, we are moving forward. We are never moving backwards. We are never staying stagnant. We are always constantly moving forward. And when we are constantly moving forward, guess what? We will tend to like push things aside. Like, okay, feelings, you are out of the window, right? I just want to focus on my goals, my success. All right. And guess what happens? We are never dealing with those feelings. Those are like taboos. We're never talking about it. I don't know how many of you feel that way, but I get to realize that the more we push our unhealthy feelings aside, the more we feel trapped. Sometimes we want to be positive, but then we realize that, hey, I'm just not myself today. I don't know why. I'm just not myself because there's something, but I just don't want to acknowledge it. I know it's there, but I just want to be positive. So the more we tell ourselves to be positive in the mirror, right? Every time we wake up, we see ourselves in the mirror, we look ourselves in the mirror and tell ourselves, things are going to be great. The day is going to be great. I am great. I am rich. I am abundant. I am healthy. I am wise. But there's something at the back of your mind. Something's not right? Something is going to deal with it. So you got to deal with that. Because if you don't deal with that, it's going to blow up one of these days. And then you're gonna, there's going to be a time when you're going to tell the psychiatrist or the psychologist that you have a problem, or an astrologer, right? Find my problem. What's going on with me? Look at my birth chart. Is there anything on my birth chart that tells me I need to see a psychiatrist and a psychologist? And I'm going to tell you that, yep, there is a potential. You got to seek help and then come back to me.
Well, for me as a lifestyle coach, right? Mostly I coach people in terms of their lifestyle and in terms of their habits and in terms of that. However, in terms of their psychological and their spiritual and their emotions, these are sometimes you cannot know how you can control it, but you try your best to control it. But once is your physical body is moving forward, you need to have a balance in both. That's how you move yourself forward. That's why I always practice myself there. That's why you can see me, I'm running around here, running around there, doing a lot of things. Because I have my so-called, I plan myself that, I need to do this. Okay, on this part, make sure I've done this part. Okay, so that once you have completed it, so you say, it's fulfilled already. So it's like, you'll be feel happy, like, I move on to the next step, move on to the next task. So sometimes it's more about how you plan, but also your mental health is, you need to be, everybody have a mental health, everybody need energy, everybody need to be fueled. Like a car. So when the car, there's no fuel or no water, no electricity, you can't move. Yeah. So basically, right, take care of yourself first.
Yes. Before take care of anyone else.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's so important. That is the most important part that sometimes we tend to forget.
Yes.
Especially if you are taking care of a lot of people around you. Yeah. If you're a parent, you're also playing a role as a son, as a daughter, as, whoever, right? We all play multiple roles actually,
Actually, everybody knows that I'm taking care of my mom.
Exactly.
Mom. So basically, though like certain some like especially when my helper is off on Sundays, right?
Yeah, I think the most important thing about us really having our mental health in check is really getting ourselves aligned back to ourselves. there are three very big components in aligning ourselves is actually thinking, feeling, and willing. As three things, if they intersect together, like, behind every emotions, there's a belief system that makes you feel that certain way. So if you can tweak that belief system, you will actually see it change. The feeling will change. It's like, oh, I wake up at the wrong side of bed today. Like, I feel like crap. It's you can actually work out a way to bounce back easily. It's not like it's 100% that you'll be like a different person altogether, but at least it makes the day looks better. Like when I was really down last time, what I did was that I will write down one thing that wasn't working right now, and it really okay. I feel lonely today because I don't feel anyone understand me. Example, then I'll write down 5 things that actually make me feel better or I feel grateful for. 5 things, and then 5 things that were one thing that is less. It feels like as if it doesn't really matter. I have 5 things that I should be grateful for, so it overrides it. I call it the flip strategy. Flip over. That was something that I wrote for myself last time so that I could keep on going and making sure I'm in check. Yeah. And do something that you love. Maybe go sing your heart out, go for a swim. Yeah. Go for a job. It works.
Yeah, we're just gonna open up the questions to anyone in the show right now or anyone on Facebook. If you have any last questions that we have for me, Nick, or Eunice on the show. Eunice, thank you for sharing your story. It's amazing. I'm inspired by it and definitely love what you share.
Right.
So in terms of all your mental health, right? I think like Eunice said, one bad thing, 5 good things. So sometimes you need to so-called, you need to feel good for yourself. You need to pamper yourself. You need to actually feel proud what you've done so far. So basically, although you have one bad thing, or maybe 2 bad things, and then 5 good things, I think you feel much more better. Sometimes it's good to, like what Eunice say, write them down. And I agree with that by writing it down by pen and paper, it helps you to acclimate yourself, how you are feeling, what you are not feeling no good or feeling good about yourself. And then emotion, your eyesight, all the 5 senses comes together into one. Yeah. Frederick, any last take home for that?
Yeah, and I'm just thinking about what you shared, Nick, that we can write things down. I'm not a journaling person. I don't write. But I think another alternative is that if you are not a tactile person and if you are not a kinesthetic person, you are more audio or visual. For audio people, you can actually tape record your voice. So you can just tape record on your phone and you can just record your daily journals. Like tell it to your phone as though it is a pet or it is something that you love, and you just record your voice and just share it in. And you don't have to replay it. You just have to need an outlet for you to share. Because I know some of you guys, you want to replay it. Sometimes you may feel like you want to replay it and you don't like your voice after replaying it, but it's okay. You don't have to like your voice. You don't have to like replay it. You can just record it and just forget about it, right? You can replay it next time if you want to, if you're curious. For visual people, I'm not sure because I'm not a visual person.
Just draw.
If anyone, just draw, like art therapy, right? Yeah, art therapy. Yeah, I love that. And for some of you, can actually turn to art therapy. I used to do art therapy last time, for clients last time, but yeah, I agree. Art therapy. Thanks for reminding me. But for auditory people like me, I record voices. I record my own speaking, my own voice to share to whatever recording that I'm doing, and just share my own thoughts and my own feelings and all that. That's another good idea. Yeah. And any last questions from the ground?
You forgot one thing. For kinetic person,
Kinesthetic.
please go out of the world. Please get out of the house and try to do extra activities. It helps.
Yeah, just get out of the house and do some yogas, right?
It helps. Yeah.
Move your body.
Maria, you have anything to add on?
Yeah, she's very quiet, Maria. Yeah, you're putting her on a spot, lah.
Calling her out, oh dear.
No, it's okay. Because we actually got a few more viewers who participate for tonight, but they all left. And give me a smile over.
Yeah. Maria, you want to share something?
Yeah, trying to do it.
Yeah. Okay, we can hear you loud and clear.
Yes.
What happened?
Okay,
Um,
thank you now.
I'm a good listener. Actually, I've been going to a lot of talks, and I don't know if I can hear me now.
I can
I
hear you
am
now.
yes, I
in
can hear you.
Singapore, up, enjoying myself, reading a paper at the same time listening to you all. I've been to a lot of mental health talks as well as dementia. I myself was an exco member of the Singapore Association of the Mental Health. So I have always feeling about these mental health people. In
Mm.
fact, I coach one person, but it's actually very hard. I think Eunice has done a good job because I think in any cases, we have to put ourselves in a happy position, whatever depression. But if you have a religion, like for me, I'm a Christian, I've been scammed endlessly. And I couldn't believe it. I recalled, oh, I started off with when I just became an architect. I have money and wanted to travel. I went to buy this timeshare, and they have been scamming me for hundreds of dollars, and I still go on believing that there's a hope that something will come up. And the worst is recently I've been scammed by my own nephew. So
Oh no.
how difficult life is. But I always believe that we forgive and be happy. So every day I enjoy my life. That is
Yes. I
the
like that. Positive thinking. Just enjoy your life.
people, to be happy because that is yourself. Nobody else can make you happy. You've got to
Yes.
give yourself. So I come into grow, but I'm very quiet because I like to listen to people talk. And also, I think Frederick, I've done one-to-one with you as well.
Yeah, it is.
But as a Christian, a bit of an issue, here, because some the people will say, "Oh, how can you believe in this, all this thing?" But it's good that you listen. I don't know what happened to the thing now. It's a bit of a problem.
Well, I'm glad that you are open-minded to extend to listen to something that is outside of your own faith, and I think that's very important aspect or attribute to have as well in the world of business because business is secular, right? So because business is secular, it's always good to have an open mindset, a very open-minded kind of uh, attribute, so that you can find opportunities that's open to you at the same time. And great, I like the fact that you stay positive, even though you have gone through a lot of hardships, especially with people who are closer to you, who are seemingly are related to you in an extent. It's not easy. It's not easy, but it's even harder to forgive people, especially when someone who's also a relative. So it's really I would say something admirable, something noble. At the same time, I'm lost for words. But certainly not an easy feat, not an easy feat, really. But you got me there. Then you got me there.
I think very important to stay true to yourself. All right, Maria, stay true to yourself. All right.
Thanks for sharing, Mario.
Exactly.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and thanks for sharing as well, Kai. You've been like
Proactive.
yeah, proactive in the chat, and only hear your voice at the beginning. Yeah, but really thanks once again for those who actually showed up on Facebook Live with us. Thank you for joining us tonight on the new You Talk Show. I hope this episode actually resonate with you dearly as we commemorate World Mental Health Day. I hope this episode has been meaningful and also bringing some insights as well in some of the reflections for the weekend. But at the same time, we do care about mental health. We do speak about it. We want to talk about it at the same time. So if this talk show will not end here, we will continue on in the chat, in the comment section. Feel free to actually write down your comments and share your thoughts with us. We are having our own YouTube channel very soon, very, very soon. And it's going to be pumping with new materials and new videos. So do check out our YouTube channel, all right? I will put the YouTube channel, I will share the YouTube channel link very soon. You can also check out the YouTube channel link, which I think I actually shared it in the community or in this the new You Talk Show Facebook page. So do check that out. Do subscribe to it, and we will be uploading episodes after episodes, and of course future episodes as well. And thank you so much for spending this time with us in this 17th episode. There'll be more episodes coming up, and we will make our next announcement pretty soon. So good night, everyone. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great weekend ahead and stay positive.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.